So this is the second part of my layers of communication. So it's this idea that any of you, I guess, who work in organisations, as I have, large organisations, lots of this communication is by email. And the thing I particularly want to focus on is this idea that, when you get an email, particularly something like inviting you to a meeting, you have two options when you reply. Well, so you've got three options. You could ignore it. The first is you could just reply to the person who sent it to you. So in my case, working in university, usually the administrator would send out a message for the meeting from whoever was going to run the meeting, and there'd be things like the agenda and so on, the time of the meeting and the room and all that. And then the custom, of course, is that matter of courtesy that you then reply to say, oh yes, thank you, I will be there, can you add this to the agenda, whatever. But there's also the option to reply to all. And what I would argue happens is people tend to overuse that a bit. But I don't think this is any accident, and this comes back to my idea that communication, there's always a subtext. I'll just illustrate this using three classic examples that I've come across. So the first one is the team I used to work in. I used to teach on a PGC course. I think it was about 14, 15 of us. We got an email round from the administrator saying when the next meeting was, the venue, the time, etc., etc. And I hope what I did was I just replied to the administrator of, thanks very much, I will be there, I won't be there, I can't remember. But what someone did is they hit the reply to all, which means, of course, the administrator gets replied, but we all do as well. And what she said was, thanks very much for the details of the meeting, or something like this. Thanks for the details of the meeting. I'm really sorry I can't be there. Now, she could have left it at that, but she didn't. And so this is where my subtext comes in. What she then did was she said, I've been asked to run a subject hub for this particular subject up in wherever it was. Now, for me, that does two things, or three things. Firstly, she's saying she can't be at the meeting. Fine. Secondly, she's saying is, actually, I'm not at the meeting because I've got something more important on. Thirdly, she's telling us that she's been invited to do this, so she must be damn special. And fourthly, she's telling us this thing has county-wide implications, ramifications, which of course makes it even more important. So it seems to me what she's doing there, the subtext of it is that she's letting us know how in demand she is and how important she is. So that's my first example. The second one, which is just a classic, is I was part of a bigger group than the PGC one, part of a research forum. I was just representing a group on that. It's no big deal, just that no one else could be asked to do it really, so I said I'd do it. So the email comes around, and again, this is a much bigger group. This would be, I suppose, around about 20, and involves all the professors, different people in research, and different people from the faculty. So yeah, over 20. And so again, same thing, we've got a meeting coming up, date, venue, agenda, etc., etc. And then one of the professors, and this is just so, I love this, again, hits the reply to all, when all it needed, it seems to me, was just to reply to the administrator to say, I'm really sorry I can't be there. And then he says, I'll be in New York giving my paper on, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever bollocks he's writing about. And I just think that's just, again, just brilliant, isn't it? So he's letting us know he's not going to be there. He's got something more important than our epoxy meeting. Secondly, not only that, but he's going to be in New York to do this. And thirdly, he wants us to know he's making a contribution, he's giving a paper there. What he missed out when he invited to do it, that would have been even better. And so that's my second one. And again, it seems to me the purpose of this is just for us all to know how important he is. That whereas foot soldiers like me are lucky to get a slot to give a paper at a faculty conference, he's off to New York. But then the third one, and this is I have to say this has become one of my favourites. And this goes like this. So it's, again, it was a similar thing. It was a meeting. I was a team meeting, different team. Although I must say this phenomenon I've come across quite a lot recently. But anyway, so there's a team meeting coming up. And again, someone in the team emails, again, reply to all. I think he only needed to go to the administrator. So I'm really sorry, I can't be there. And this is the thing, I love this as a reason. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm examining a PhD in, I don't know, Durham or Lancashire or something. And again, it seems that's just so brilliant, isn't it? Because one, that's telling us that she's got a PhD, as if we didn't need reminding. Two, that she's so in the mix now, she's invited to do examinations, so she's a gatekeeper to the profession now. And thirdly, this isn't just some sort of thing localised. You know, she's got to go up north to do it. So again, it seems to be a classic example of, you know, she could have just sent that to the administrator, but she's made sure we all know how bloody important she is by doing that.